Members of the House, please be seated.
Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk.
Aloha and good morning. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Jackson D. Sayama. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please stay seated. So when I first got elected to office, my family gave me this album here, and in it they had words of congratulations, but also words of wisdom. And I keep this with me in my desk all the time. And today I'd like to share with you some words of wisdom that my auntie gave me, a quote from Senator Ted Kennedy. Moments like this are rare. You think you may not be ready, that you'll do it at a more convenient time. But you don't choose the time chooses you. Either you seize what may turn out to be the only chance you have, or you decide you're willing to live with the knowledge that that chance has passed you by. For me, this quote really resonates with me because growing up, my family would always joke that I was born an old man. You know, I like to take things slow. I always say, yoshio, and I'm standing up. But at every point in my life, I think every major point in my life, I ended up really, going for broke, or as this quote says, not passing up that chance. Whether it be taking a chance and going to college in China, or even, of course, running for office. At that point, I didn't know what was going to happen at the end. I didn't know if it was going to be successful. It's probably more likely going to fail than anything, but I committed to it, and fortunately, the results turned out well. And I think for us as the legislative body, sometimes we need to take that opportunity to really go for broke and seize the moment, because sometimes that's the best time, and the best results come from really committing to something. You may not know what might happen at the end. So, legislative session is almost Paul. Let's go for broke. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Representative Sayama, for the old person's wisdom. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Aquino, Ms. Bellotti, Mr. Bronco, Ms. Clark, Ms. Costales, Ms. Eli, Mr. Ganadin, Mr. Gates, Ms. Har, Mr. Hashem, Mr. Hashimoto, Mr. Holt, Ms. Ichiyama, Mr. Iligan, Mr. Johansson, Ms. Capella, Ms. Kitagawa, Mr. Bertrand Kobayashi, Mr. Dale Kobayashi, Mr. Kong, Mr. Lopresti, Ms. Lowen, Ms. Luke, Ms. Martin, Mr. Matayoshi, Ms. Matsumoto, Mr. McDermott, Mr. McKelvey,
Excused.
Mr. Mizuno, Ms. Morikawa, Ms. Nakamura, Mr. Nakashima, Mr. Nishimoto, Mr. Ono, Ms. Okimoto, Mr. Onishi, Ms. Peruso, Mr. Quinlan, Mr. Sayama, Mr. Takayama, Mr. Takumi, Mr. Tam, Mr. Tarnas, Mr. Todd, Mr. Tokioka, Mr. Ward, Ms. Wildberger, Mr. Woodson, Mr. Yamane, Mr. Yamashita, Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 50 members are present, 1 is excused.
All right, members, we're at item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred.
So ordered. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, if you and the members will turn your attention to the addendum to today's order of the day. We are in receipt of communications informing the House that the Senate has reconsidered action in disagreeing to the amendments proposed by the House, has moved to agree, and pass the noted Senate bills on final reading. We are in further receipt of communications informing the House that the Senate has appointed conferees to the noted House and Senate bills.
Okay, we're on introductions. With the members' indulgence, the chair would like to start off with an introduction because today we have some special guests in the gallery. They are from ILWU, Mr. Chris West, Mr. Brandon Wolf, Mr. Kale Ornelas, and Mr. David Chu. So members, as you know, Chris West was installed as the new president of Local 142 just a few months ago on January 4th. He is the youngest person to serve as president, and he's also the first Native Hawaiian person to serve as president. And I just wanted to share something from his, now that his election is over, I want to share something from his website. It was his explanation of why he ran for president of ILWU. I'm running to be president of ILWU Local 142 because we can do better. To secure the future of our local and its members, we must be willing to change. Our leadership must work together for its membership. There is no room for divisiveness. So I just wanted to share that with the members because I think that his thoughts are aligned with those of the members of this body. And I want to congratulate Chris and his team and look forward to working with them going forward. Welcome to the House. All right, are there further introductions? Representative Matsumoto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my honor and privilege to introduce one of my good friends, Ellie Espling. She is the former Assistant Republican Leader in the Maine State House of Representatives. Ellie, if you can please stand. She served 4 terms until she termed out. She currently works for U.S. Senator Susan Collins as State Office Representative in Maine. She is married with 4 children, and she's visiting Hawaii with her parents and her youngest son. Her father served on the battleship Missouri years ago, and he wanted to bring his family to see the battleship Missouri within his lifetime. So if we can please welcome her to the Hawaii State House of Representatives.
Representative Bellotti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of our colleague from Lahaina who is not able to join us, I wanted to welcome some very special visitors from Pennsylvania we have here. If they could please rise to be recognized. Mr. Lou Wilson, Dr. Mary Beth Nash, and Lily Wilson. These are family members of Representative from Lahaina's Office Manager, Wendy Wilson, who's also here. If Wendy, you could join them, and let's welcome them to the great state of Hawaii. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Are there further introductions? Okay, if not, members, we're on our action sheets. Members, could you please turn to your digital action sheets? We'll be taking up 2 motions. The first is to suspend the rules to reconsider our previous action in disagreeing to the Senate amendments. And the second is to reconsider our previous action and give notice of the intent to agree. So for the motion to suspend, Representative Bellotti.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules of the House to reconsider action previously taken in disagreeing to amendments made by the Senate to certain House bills.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Is all those in favor say aye? All opposed say no. The motion is carried. For the motion to reconsider, Representative Bellotti.
Mr. Speaker, I move to reconsider action previously taken in disagreeing to the amendments made by the Senate and to give notice of the intent to agree to the amendments to the following House bills as referenced, members, in your digital action sheets. House Bill number 1455, House Draft 1. House Bill number 1456, House Draft 1. House Bill number 1469, House Draft 1. House Bill number 1486, House Draft 2. House Bill number 1653, House Draft 2. House Bill number 1672, House Draft 1. House Bill number 1806, House Draft 2. House Bill number 1810, House Draft 1. House Bill number 2006, House Draft 1. House Bill number 2074, House Draft 1. House Bill number 2089, House Draft 1. House Bill number 2213, House Draft 1. House Bill number 2332, House Draft 1. House Bill number 2337, House Draft 1. House Bill number 2422, House Draft 1.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. So members, please note that these measures will appear on tomorrow's order of the day for a final reading vote. Okay, we're on item 5. Are there any announcements? Representative Kitagawa.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Consumer Protection and Commerce requests a waiver of the 48-hour advance notice requirement for the purpose of conducting a public hearing with decision-making to follow on SCR 33, requesting the Blood Bank of Hawaii to immediately adopt the Food and Drug Administration's updated guidance, which shortens or eliminates the deferral period for certain blood donors.
So ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The public hearing will be held tomorrow, Thursday, April 21st at 2 p.m. in Conference Room 423 and via video conference.
Okay, are there further announcements, members? Representative Gates.
Mr. Speaker, may I be permitted a late introduction?
Please proceed.
Okay, in the gallery with us, members, we have Ed Werner from the Waianae Coast community. Please rise. Ed Werner has done a lot of work out there in regards to pedestrian safety and making our roads safer for our community on the Waianae Coast. He has also been confirmed today by the Senate on the Transportation Board, and so I want to congratulate him for all his hard work and welcome to your Hawaii House of Representatives. Mahalo.
Representative Ward.
Thank you, Speaker. Just a short reminder to book your lunch for tomorrow's guest speaker. Timmy Chang and Norman Nakanishi will be in room 437, and book your lunch with Miss Christina in Representative Mizuno's office. Thank you.
Are there further announcements? If not, for the motion to adjourn, Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 11:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Representative Matsumoto.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 11:30 a.m. tomorrow.